the first human in history to ride a bicycle across 6 continents in one continuous journey without returning home. Cycling 6 continents as a solo female traveler. North America, Latin America, Africa, Europe, the Middle East, Oceania, and Asia. 83 countries, 95,000 kilometers. How was this possible physically, mentally, and financially? And most of all, why started this journey and what learned from it? Let's start at the very beginning of my trip. I had never left my country, South Korea. Then I went to Canada on working holiday visa and hitchhiked from west to east. I just wanted to see if it was possible. Thanks to kind strangers, I was able to cross Canada by hitchhiking. One night, while watching the northern lights on a frozen lake, I even tried to hitchhike to the universe. But suddenly, I got scared. What if I couldn't come back to Earth? So I decided to travel my own planet, Earth first. But why by bicycle? Cars are too fast, walking is too slow. A bicycle has the best speed to take it all in. Since it was my first time traveling abroad on a bicycle, it was extremely tough. I cried during the first week, but I wanted to try a little more. After a month, I got used to life on the road. That's when the unforgettable adventure began. My favorite place to cycle were deserts. I love riding through the desert in Iran, Dubai, Oman, and Australia. Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia was so special. As I cycled on the vast salt flats. Some people say that deserts were boring, but the reason I loved the desert was there's nothing there, so I can see everything. The most beautiful place I cycled was Finland in winter. It felt like being in a Disney movie, but it was quite dangerous. When the truck passed, they would create a snowstorm, making it impossible for the next car to see. The most adventurous place was Pamir Highway in Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. If you love adventure, this is a place you must go before you die. It was absolutely the best place for real adventure. I cycled next to the stunning Afghanistan Valley, over 4,000 meters above sea level. The road was so tough that one day I fell off my bicycle more than 10 times and cried. But I wasn't alone. I was cycling with other cyclists. When you're not alone, you can overcome tough challenges together. That's why this became the best route of my journey. People often ask me, weren't you lonely? I didn't feel lonely on the road. Only time I felt lonely was sometimes in a big city and staying alone. But most of the times, I was invited by stay with the locals. Even when I was in my home country, I could feel lonely sometimes. So I accepted the loneliness as a part of life, and that made it easier to deal with. People often ask, how could you afford to cycle the world? I receive donations when I post journals on my blog. I earn some money by making websites, writing for magazines, and doing other small works online. Later, I started YouTube, which also helped financially. And many people around the world invite me into their homes and share their food. Thanks to them, I could keep going on this long journey. There are 4 real challenges on the road. First, cars, the biggest danger. In Europe, Americas, everywhere, cycling next to car is always risky. I was hit by a car 4 times. Getting hit in an unfamiliar place and dealing with the trauma alone was incredibly hard. It took me a few days to get back on the road. Second, finding a place to sleep. Even though I loved the adventure, I had a lot of fear. For the first few years, I always asked people, can I set up my tent in your yard for one night, please? It took me a few years to start wild camping alone. In general, I felt nervous around the sunset when I have to find a place to sleep. I realized I couldn't overcome fear. I just learned how to live with it. Third, catcalls and racism calls. Being Asian, a woman, alone, and on a bicycle, that combination was really tough in some continents. In some places, I hear those 50 to 100 times daily on my bicycle. There was nothing I could do about it. I met so many good people, so I have to ignore them to meet good people. Fourth, farewells. I remember crying for the first time in Las Vegas at farewell. My host said, "You just started your trip. You'll get used to goodbyes." But I never did. It wasn't about how long I stayed with them. Maybe I cried when someone touched my soul, but I never knew who touched my soul until I said goodbye to them. It felt like a breakup. Those farewells were sometimes the most painful part of the trip. But why I kept traveling although there are many challenges? Because I love the adventures such as high mountains, deep oceans, and unknown places. I love trying new things. I especially loved learning about new cultures. That was a big motivation. Every country had different customs, food, and lifestyles. I enjoyed learning them while staying with the locals. To be honest, the more I traveled, the less amazed I felt by nature. But I never got tired of meeting new people. Everyone has their own stories, their own world. Meeting someone new was like traveling the new universe. That's just like my blog website address, Universe with me. 13 years of travel sounds so long. Some people ask me, did you get bored? I even ask myself, how is this possible? The answer was simple, curiosity. I was curious about everything. That curiosity helped me overcome all the challenges and kept me pedaling across 6 continents. I've just finished cycling the world and now I'm trying to settle down. But I will keep having little adventures on the weekend or during vacations. I learned from my 13 years cycling trip. Life is all about taking the adventure after going through the challenges.